Boom. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Was it Saturday now? I think so, yeah. Happy Saturday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at, I don't know if I've reviewed a beer from these guys before. They're out of New Jersey. I think it's Brix Brewing Company. I don't know if it's Brix. I think it's pronounced Brie. But this one looks pretty... I saw this one when I purchased stuff Tavor. I'm like, this one looks interesting just because of the name of the beer. So I purchased it. I purchased two for me and my dad, and this one is called Dope Nose. I don't know why that made me laugh when I saw it when I purchased it, but I think it's just a nice, clever name. The label has like a nice, almost 80s kind of theme to it. And yeah, Bree City's doing some really cool stuff over there in New Jersey. It started when the owner is a previous, he's a veteran, he's an Army vet, and he was stationed in Germany, I believe it was, and once he kind of got discharged and everything after he was honorably discharged, he kind of wanted to figure out what he wanted to do moving forward. He had his best friend that was kind of going to college for a different kind of field, but they were talking and all that kind of stuff, and they decided that since he was stationed in Germany, he kind of grew his love for beer, and then his friend also had that same love as well. They decided to get a home brewing kit, and then there you have it. Brix City Brewing was born. After a few years, they were able to open up a location, get distribution going, and they're making delicious sounding beers over there. And this one comes in at a 6.5%. It's a hazy IPA, and it's double dry hopped with Ella, Vic Secret, and Galaxy hops. So, of course, Vic Secret's a great hops to use for dry hopping. Galaxy is one of my favorite hops out there. It's a great kind of like mix between citrus and tropical fruit. Of course, it has a nice kind of dank kind of flavor in there as well. But also, the Ella hops is very, very interesting because it's mostly used to kind of bring certain aromas to beer. Like the lighter amounts you use, it seems like that's going to be a trend that people use. When anybody dry hops with Ella hops, it's usually a little bit lower. But if you decide to use high amounts of it, that you're going to get loads and loads of tropical fruit notes coming through with it. So I'm pretty excited to see how this one turns out. It's a nice kind of warm day out. A nice kind of 6.5% hazy IPA I think is a perfect kind of beer for a day like today. So without further ado, let's crack this thing open and see what this thing's like on the nose. Let's see what we got for aromas with this guy. Oh yeah, definitely getting some nice kind of bitter hoppiness, almost like a florally kind of note. Getting a little bit of like tropical fruit, maybe like I don't know if that's tropical fruit, it might be a little bit of like a melon kind of thing. Definitely has like an almost bitter melon kind of thing on the nose, which is very, very interesting. Yeah, it smells pretty damn delicious. So I'll be drinking this out of my untapped pint glass this afternoon. Let's pour this thing and see how hazy this one actually is. I'm expecting, since it was brewed with a lot of like flaked oat and flaked wheat, it's going to have a really, really nice pillowy soft mouthfeel to it. Super hazy. So let's see if that is right with the haziness. Let's pour it. Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be a hazy one for sure. Nice little bit of like a nice white head coming up the top. See if I can get a little bit of rapport with that. Look at that. That looks absolutely delicious, if I say so myself. Nice and hazy, just the way I like it. Still getting a lot of those more bitter aromas coming through, so I'm wondering if that maybe had something to do with the Ella in there. Maybe it's going to bring in some tropical fruit notes. I don't know. I'm curious the amounts of the hops. What was the predominant hop that they used for dry hopping on this one? Because there's definitely a nice kind of bitter aromas kind of coming through heavy on this one. But yeah, it smells absolutely delicious. So let's give this guy a try and see what this thing's all about. So, cheers everybody. Happy Saturday. Okay. Definitely has a nice kind of almost... There's definitely a sweetness coming through. You're getting the sweetness in with that kind of dry bitterness up front. But at the end, it has a really, really soft, juicy mouthfeel. It starts up dry, which is very, very interesting. And then it kind of gets it starts getting softer the longer you leave it in your mouth. And then just, yeah, it's bright, it's refreshing. Nice kind of notes of like melon and tropical fruit. A little bit of citrus coming through, but mostly getting like a balance of having a little bit of melon flavors, maybe like a cantaloupe kind of note in there, along with getting like hints of maybe a little bit, actually, a little bit of grapefruit coming through for sure, adding like citrusy bitterness. But overall, Yeah, this is pretty damn solid for a nice 6.5%. They definitely didn't hold back on packing this thing full of flavor, so this thing's pretty damn delicious. Yeah, that's good. That's really nice. So let's look here at Untapped, and let's see what they show as a description of this guy, and then we'll kind of go through and see if we can find some similar beers and all this stuff. So what they say here is their New England style IPA, double dry hopped with Ella, Vic Secret, and Galaxy hops. Dope Nose is brewed with heaps of flaked oats and wheat, which helps with mouthfeel, helps with making it really nice and soft. It's just a really cool thing when you can add the flaked oat and flaked wheat. We do a couple flaked oat and wheat IPAs over at the brewery too, and then layered with dry hops with some of our favorite varieties for an in-your-face sticky tropical flavor. And they say the notes on here, notes of cantaloupe, passion fruit, and unripe papaya, which is interesting. I've never really tasted an unripe papaya before. So when I think of papaya and passion fruit, well, actually no, never mind. Papaya is definitely a flavor that I'm not really accustomed to because I've never had a papaya on its own, but knowing that maybe that's adding to some of the bitterness, having the unripe. But I think that kind of melon note, of course, is coming from the cantaloupe aspects of it. Maybe the Vic Secret's kind of bringing that along with it. But the Ella and the Galaxy's bringing in those kind of tropical fruit notes. I wonder if the Ella is bringing in that like unripe papaya kind of note in there, which I really can't taste on its own. But there definitely is a nice kind of hoppy bite to this. So the Galaxy's definitely doing its thing when it comes to adding like a little bit of a dankness to it. And so in the description it says sticky tropical flavor. So having that kind of dank aspect to this is always going to be really nice. And for a nice 6.5%, this is pretty damn solid. So let's look here and see what Untapped shows for similar beers as one. Okay, so looking at it here, it has the same kind of overseas brews that I can't pronounce, but there's one here that I may be able to put in here. Let's see. So this one is from Around the Horn Brewing Company. They are out of Groveland, California, and this one is called their Hetchy Haze. It's their Citra, Mosaic, and Centennial. The Centennial is going to add bitterness and grassiness. Citrus, of course, is going to add the citrusy, grapefruity kind of notes, and then the Mosaic may add a little bit of the tropical fruit notes. So yeah, this one may be pretty similar. There's only 12 ratings on this one, so I'm wondering if Around the Horn Brewing is a very small. Okay, so yeah, it's located 25 miles from Yosemite National Park. Around the Horn Brewing Company. Yeah, so it looks like it's a little bit of a smaller brewery out there, but this Hetchy Haze may be pretty damn close. So if you've ever been to Around the Horn, or if you're anywhere near Around the Horn, you may be able to find a similar experience with this Hetchy Haze from them. But other those ones, these are overseas that I can't even pronounce. And looking at here were some possible verified locations. You got a couple options here. Of course, I'm seeing some Massachusetts availability when it comes to stuff from Brix City Brewing Company. Of course, New Jersey, since that's where it's brewed. But some verified locations they're showing up here is Balsamo's Pizza, which is in Lindenwood. I think Lindenwold. I don't know if that's how you're saying, in New Jersey. Then we got the Harbor Point Liquors in Dorchester, Massachusetts. And then we got RMA Craft Beer and Wine, which is in Amesbury, Massachusetts. Kearney By-Right, which is in Kearney, New Jersey. And then the last one that's showing here is the Beer Spot and Grill in Fort Lee, New Jersey. So, yeah, I would go with this Hetchy Haze. That's fucking difficult to say. I don't know why, but it's like a tongue-tying kind of situation. But looking back over here, let's see what people are rating this guy. So, like I said, it's a 6.5%, so I would definitely consider this in the realm of being sessionable, because it's not hitting that 7.5. You could probably still have a few of these and be perfectly fine, maybe like one or two, and you'd be still good. And let's see, 50 IBUs it's showing on here, which I could definitely see it being, because there's a really nice kind of pronounced bitterness that kind of comes through on this one. And with over 3,088 ratings, this one has an average rating of 3.95 out of 5, which is not bad at all. Not bad at all. Almost getting to that point where it has that average of a 4, which is pretty good. So, especially having that many check-ins, being pretty close to a 4 average is a pretty good beer in my kind of in my eyes at least. So let's look here on my friends list. I know we only got probably one here on my friends list to check this one in, because when I bought it, I buy two from Tavor, from one for me, one for my father. So, and he checked this one in and gave it a 3.75 out of 5, which, yeah, it's not bad. Okay, I can say I probably give it the same, around that kind of realm anyways too. But let's look at the global ratings to see what other people had to say as well. So this guy gave it a 4 out of 5. Picture is a nice little can in the glass, kind of side by side. Let's see, this guy gave it a 3.75, saying juicy goodness, which, I don't know, I've had juicier, to be honest, but there's definitely some nice juiciness to it. A really nice soft mouthfeel with this one as well. But let's see. This person gave it a 4.25 out of 5, purchased at Brix Brewing. This was back in May. Let's see. We got a 4 out of 5 here, and he says mellow IPA, which I wouldn't know if I would say it's mellow. The bitterness definitely kind of catches you off guard for being a 6.5%. I usually think of something like this to be in maybe a double IPA, but do it being a double dry hop situation. So this is, I kind of knew off the bat this is probably going to be a hoppy one, so this is definitely living up to the double dry hop in it. So let's see what else we got here. We got a 3.75. We got a 4 here, saying nice classic IPA with mild fruit flavors. Yeah, I definitely agree. The fruitier flavors are definitely more mild. Let's see. This one is okay. This is definitely a good read. So what he says, he gave it a 4.25. He says one of the most consistent beers I've had. Probably had this for the first time around 2016 and still tastes exactly like I remember. Cantaloupe and papaya up front with a massive grassy and dank finish. Always a great IPA. So yeah, his description's pretty damn good on that one. Spot on. Let's see what else we got here. We got another 4.25. We got another 4. Let's do two more from here. This guy checked it in, didn't give it a rating, but he said something seems off with this beer. Peanut butter taste, skunky taste, maybe it's just a bad can for some reason. Yeah, I would say that he probably got a bad one. If your IPA is tasting like peanut butter and skunkiness, then you probably need to pour that down the drain. That's for damn sure. And the last one we got here is a 2.75. Didn't give it a reason. Didn't need to. So overall, ratings are pretty damn good on this one, I would say. But yeah, that one dude who was saying he was getting peanut butter notes and skunkiness, I'm hoping he poured that down the drain. Maybe he stored it in a room temperature situation for a while and didn't put it in the fridge. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm not getting any of that coming from this one. But overall, it's pretty damn delicious. So with all that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing over here for ratings over on our end with this guy. Let me pour the rest of it into the glass. And let's look at can art, because that's the first thing we like to look at over here. And yeah, I like the can art on this one. Like I said in the beginning, it has this kind of almost 80s kind of vibe to me, where it's like a Saved by the Bell situation with the colors. Almost kind of has a more colorful version of those old cups you used to get to drink water at offices and all that kind of stuff. I like the font, of course. The Brix Brewing Company logo is right up there. The dope nose situation, where it's just a nose with an awesome mustache, I think is really, really cool. So the color's nice. Definitely something catches my attention. The font's really cool. It's simple. But it's eye-catching. That's what I like about it. The Brix Brewing thing on the side is always a nice touch, having that kind of cursive classiness on there as well. So they definitely took advantage of kind of using the real estate that they had to put out their can art, all the colors, having the nice font, all that kind of stuff like that. So overall, yeah, I like this label for sure. Definitely something that would catch my attention at a liquor store or bottle shop for sure. So with that, I'd probably give a rating for this can art. I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. So let's see what else we got here. If I got this beer in a flight over at Brix Brewing Company, would I get another one? I probably would. Yeah, I definitely enjoy it enough to where I'd get another one of these. I don't know if it's to the point to where I'd get a 4-pack to bring home. It's not that quite to that point yet, but if I got it in a flight and I was craving a nice kind of hazy IPA and I had this and I had the option to get a glass of it by itself, I'd definitely do it. It's definitely something that's good enough for me to get a glass of it at the brewery itself, but I don't think it's to the point to where I'd get a 4-pack of it to bring home so I could have more than one. I would enjoy the one glass I get of this, probably a nice, just a 12-ounce pour or something like that, and then just enjoy it that way. But I don't know. I don't think I would get a 4-pack of this to bring home. It's not to that point to where I want to have this in my possession and have more than one just to make sure I have it in my possession, all that kind of stuff. But overall, it's still a pretty damn good hazy IPA. That's for damn sure. So let's see. Other than that, what is my final rating going to be on this guy? That's going to be the real question here. It's going to be a tough one, to be honest. It's going to be a little tough. There's a lot of stuff I like about it. There's some things that I wish were a little bit better when it comes to having maybe a little bit less upfront bitterness. Of course, you probably could have added a little bit more Galaxy to the dry hopping process to add a little bit more of a sweetness to it. But I think they were trying to just kind of bring like the melon and tropical fruit flavors together, so I think they did a pretty damn good job at that. Because the only thing that I would change really with this one is to kind of do something to where it would kind of tone down that upfront dry bitterness and kind of give it a little bit more juiciness and tropical fruit feel to it. That could just be changing up the amounts of hops that you're using for the dry hopping process, or which hops you're actually using first dry hop, because a beer could change depending on how much hops you put into the dry hopping process when you do it that way. So, but other than that, this beer is still pretty damn solid. So with this one, I think my final rating on this guy, it's be tough. It's gonna be a tough one. What am I gonna give this guy? I'm probably going to give this a solid 7.25 out of 10. Yeah, it's good enough to where I'd have another one, but I wouldn't get a 4-pack. And it's good enough to just be able to enjoy a nice kind of 6.5% hazy IPA for the day. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. 7.25%. Not percent. 7.25 out of 10 for my rating on this guy. So overall, a pretty damn solid beer. So big shout outs to Brix City Brewing for coming out with this guy. But other than that, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live doing another review. I have plenty of different social media platforms where you can shoot me a follow and friend request and all that kind of stuff on. You can shoot me a follow on Instagram where you'll see what I'm be reviewing daily, and when I'm off of work, of course, you'll see some stuff, me doing a little bit of shenanigans over at the brewery, what beers we're going to be releasing, all that kind of stuff. I'll make sure to let people know about that. Plus, you'll see the hand checks of the stuff I'm beer reviewing. It's a fun little thing I do over there. So if you look at my Instagram feed, it's just nothing but me just doing hand checks of beer a lot of times, and then every once in a while there's a Fibs kind of post put in there as well. You can also shoot me a friend request on Untapped. Of course, the link to my profile is down in the description below. I love Untapped. It's probably the best platform when it comes to social media for craft beer lovers. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool over there. It's just, plus you can use it on your phone, you can use it on your computer. There's plenty of different options and different stuff that you can take advantage of through the service they provide. So I would highly recommend get yourself over to Untapped if you're a craft beer fan. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's because it's that simple like that. So if you haven't shot me a friend request yet on Untapped, of course, like I said, link to my profile is down in the description below. And finally, if you want to support me any other way by getting a little bit extra money in my pocket so I can get more reviews out to you guys and then possibly give back some more beer to you guys as well, to have you guys be able to win some stuff, I do have a Patreon available that you can join and get your chance, the opportunity to win some Illinois exclusive craft beer from me. I pick out each 4-pack like exclusively out of Illinois beers, so everybody has the opportunity to get some stuff that they normally can't give. Plus, it would help me out a lot as well. So, plus I have a couple other things that I'm planning to do with the Patreon, getting some glassware, some like what's happening glassware, coasters, koozies, what else? Possibly a Discord working on. I'm kind of waiting to see if a little bit more people join the Patreon before I get the Discord working in. But kind of letting it do its thing over there. A lot of people are choosing to support me over there, and it's a really kind of grateful thing that I have with that. So the people that are supporting me through Patreon are awesome. They're some of my closest friends when it comes to seeing them every day in the reviews and all that kind of stuff. So big shout outs to those people as well. But other than that, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. Thank you everybody who's going to be watching on the replay as well. You guys are awesome. But other than that, I think that's it. So I'm gonna end it like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're gonna drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.